Good morning, y'all. Shade Tree Joe here. Greetings from Central Oklahoma. I apologize for the wind noise today. I'm not messing with the body mic, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. I'll tell you right now, I've been slacking. I haven't posted a video up in a while. Been busy doing stuff. It's summertime, it's hot. I got a crap ton of excuses, but the reality of it is I just hadn't got around to it. So, little quick update video. Okay, first of all, Jimmy's got new tires on it. It's fully functional now, with the exception of air conditioning. I've got insurance coming and should be legally road capable later this week, probably tomorrow. And I'll take it down to the gas station, put a full tank of real gas in it, and we can start driving this one. So there we go. I picked up some Chevy large pattern wheels a while back. The front ones were white, and me being me, I got lazy with it, and in all honesty, I didn't repaint them. But then I have black wheels for the front, and I did repaint those. Guess what I need to do now? I wonder. Oh yeah. Probably deck of playing cards, some masking tape, a rattle can, yada yada yada. You can see where this is going. I got her some new tires, all four corners that hold air. They more than hold air. They're 39, 50, 15 mud terrains because we live in Oklahoma, and when it gets wet out here, it gets muddy. So made the most sense to go ahead and get something like that. Okay, so the second tidbit, and in reality one happened before the other, but it doesn't matter. You may or may not have noticed in the background, Ethel's got some different color going on right now. I can't say in too much detail as to why, other than the vehicle is, I can't say is because I don't know that for a fact. Maybe in the background of a major film production that'll come out next summer if the writer's strike doesn't screw all that up. We'll see. I don't know. We'll try it. There's a whole lot I can't say due to a non-disclosure agreement. And so I won't go into any details on any of that, but let me show you. I can show you this, and I can explain why it is what it is. Again, might get used in the background, don't know, can't say for certain. It's all going to depend on editing and where things go after the strike. But I learned something here not too terribly long ago that I wasn't aware of, and this will explain why the color is the color. Last year I had gone ahead and put in for a sort of a part in the first season of the Tulsa King production. They were looking for vehicles that would theoretically be found in a redneck bar parking lot. Well, crap, that's Ethel. However, Ethel was rejected for that. And they never really said why, but I take that back. I put in for it even though there was a exclusion for white vehicles. And I didn't understand why, but you put in for it, you don't put in for it. If you don't take the chance, you'll never know. So I put in for it. And when it didn't get chose for the position, I had to research why white vehicles were being excluded. And when I put in for this other position, at least I came prepared with that knowledge. When it comes to cinematography, if I can say that right, when it comes to cinematography, white vehicles are not preferred because of the amount of light that's reflected. It's difficult to go ahead and shoot. So unless it's something that is critical to the scene, you know, like an ambulance or a police car or something like that, they tend to shy away from white vehicles. So there's that. In the case of this movie production, they did not specify anything about white vehicles, but I was aware of it. And so when I went to the set, when I went to the set and it became apparent that we were going to go ahead and use the vehicle, I was prepared. I had already gone ahead and taken the orbital sander and knocked down some of the white paint back to primer. And you know, there's 6 coats of paint on this truck. It doesn't matter. It's all going to be removed pretty much entirely until I go ahead and get it repainted. And I'm going to go back to the original colors. But in the meantime, I took 2 cans of black primer with me, and I figured, well, if this is going to be an issue, I'm going to go ahead and fix this up. So when the announcement came to go ahead and move the vehicles over to the actual set, there was a brief discussion, and they said, well, how white is it? I said, well, you know, it's got a lot of white, but it's also got a lot of other colors and primer and whatnot. Well, okay, yeah, go ahead and go on over and take it on over. And so when we were getting everything lined up to go ahead and cross over to the set, I had about 3 minutes, and I grabbed a can of black primer and I just started shaking and spraying. And they thought that was crazy, but you know, we discussed it and it was okay. And so Ethel made it onto the set. So we'll see what happens. Obviously the urban camouflage primer job is not permanent. I could probably take a Scotch-Brite pad and take it off pretty quickly. Right now it really doesn't matter, again, because the truck is going to get repainted and it's going to get painted back to the original color. So urban camouflage really doesn't matter. So there's that. So that's my Hollywood story, you know, for what it's worth. And I may or may not end up being a background extra somewhere. And again, I can't discuss any of the details. That's not for me to say. You'll just have to wait and see. And when the production does come out, I'll go ahead and go into more detail then, because once it's released, it really doesn't matter. But until that point in time, I can't say with any great detail what it was or how it plays out. So there's that. You'll have to just kind of wait and see. Sorry, it is what it is. Okay, for the next detail, or the next little update, over my shoulder here, way out there, you can see the Willys project. Okay, Willys Nelson. I bought that Willys wagon last year. It's been, well, call it a year ago in February, if I remember right. Drove up to Kansas, picked it up, brought it back, and it's been sitting. And it's been sitting for a couple of reasons, really. Number one, there was an agreement with Kim and I that her GMC came first. That's fine, I don't mind. Her GMC is up and running and is about to be road legal. So the time to go ahead and start addressing the Willys has come about. A couple things about Willys Nelson is that it's not a complete vehicle. It doesn't have a drivetrain. It rolls on the original axles and so on and so forth, but there's no transmission, no transfer case, no engine. And I've been kind of toying around with that concept just a little bit. I may or may not use a Ford Ranger chassis that I picked up that has the flexible front axle. I can't remember what the hell they call that thing, twin traction beam or some bullshit. It's a Dana, hell, I think it's a Dana 28 if I remember right. It's that funky one with the stupid little hubs that come off when you take the wheels off. I'm not a fan of that, but I do want the coil spring front suspension if I get away with it. So I was thinking, you know, along the lines of like Jeep Comanche, XJ Cherokee, that type of stuff. Hold on. And regardless of how that pans out, whether or not or I use that or I stick with the original Wagoneer or Willys wagon, Willys Overland chassis, we'll see. We'll just gotta wait until we get there. However, when I picked that one up, it was bill of sale only out of Kansas. I didn't find out until after I drove 5.5 hours to get there that, oh yeah, we don't have the title for it. Oh, and there's no VIN plate because I used it for something else. Great. But the body was solid. I figured, okay, well, I'm gonna make the best of this. Dang it. I'm sorry, my shoulder's just killing me this morning. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make the best of this, and we'll muddle through and we'll find a way to make it work. And so last Saturday, literally a week ago, I found a donor Jeep. Another Willys wagon. I think it's 1 year earlier because it's got the 2-piece front windshield versus the 1-piece front windshield, but it really doesn't matter. This one has the VIN, it has the original title. It was last registered in 1982, and somebody was making a project out of it. And so it's had a lot of work done to it and so on and so forth. But it has a crap ton, if you can believe it, of parts that Willys Nelson did not come with and are, as I found out later on, almost unobtainium. Door handles, if you've never messed with one of these Willys projects, door handles are not available. Okay. You can get the rebuild kits for the exterior door handles, but you cannot go ahead and get reproductions of them. Nobody makes them. So you have to go ahead and find one that has those door handles. First time I went looking for them, about $250 a whack. If somebody went ahead and sold some as cores to one of the Willys sites, which there's only a handful. I don't even see that as an option anymore. I did find one last night searching the internet, just curiosity, because random downtime. One single exterior door handle, $395. So here we are. I bought this as the parts department. It came with both door handles. It has the rear bumper on it with the Willys script, although there's a hitch welded over top of it, so I'm gonna have to work on that and see if I can't salvage it. It also has the interior oak slats on the floor in the back. Yeah, the front end's boogered up. The axles are no good. Again, there's no drivetrain. And when I brought this home, it was supposed to be a roller. The front tires were flat. The back tires were flat. The passenger side was still on the vehicle. The driver's side was in the back of the truck, and it's a 2-piece Dana 44 rear axle. It's the old school tapered, keyway type hub. And so the backing plate was missing, the axle shaft and the wheel were in the back. And he said it's been like that, it had a bad axle. Okay, fine. So this is what we got. Right there's the axle shaft, the radiator. Like I said, the wood slats are in. It's had some work done to it, but it's a little bit rougher in some respects, but not as rough as Willys Nelson. So it's definitely a parts department. The rear hatch does work. It folds down. It's got a lot of the chrome trim that I cannot find elsewhere. And like I said, these door handles alone are unobtainium. It also came with the title, like I said, and so on and so forth. So yesterday, I go ahead and I start messing with this because, again, two flat front tires. I mean, we're talking like full-on dry rot. Well, kind of like this right here. Okay, plain and simple, kind of like that right there. They were all explodo walls. So anyway, this axle was sitting on the ground, and I'll show you. Well, like I said, this axle was sitting on the ground. It was full of dirt or sand, and there was really no way to go ahead and put a wheel on it at all. So there's that. Because there wasn't a hub, there wasn't a spindle, there wasn't an axle. The hub is attached to the wheel that's in the back of the truck. The front wheels, the drum brakes are completely locked up. And so, well, hell, let me back up. Before we even get to that, when we went to load this thing, this was sold as a roller. The gentleman said, yeah, we'll just go ahead, we'll use your winch and my tractor, and I'll pick up the back end since it's missing wheel. And yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll load it up on there for you. And you just use your winch to pull the front and so on. Well, if you can see these shiny new shackles and hardware right here, none of that was attached. So as we went to go ahead and put this up on the trailer, the front axle wanted to go ahead and fold backwards underneath, because the wheels right here, these guys, they were dragging. They're locked up solid. So that made it a challenge. When I got home, I discovered why we were having so much of an issue with that. He'd gone ahead and actually used a ratchet strap around the frame to go ahead and hold the leaves in place. And of course, you know, the ratchet straps rotted over the years. So anyhow, there was that. But I went ahead and hit up Tractor Supply, got some trailer shackles just so I can go ahead and move this around, because again, parts department. So once we got it on the trailer with 3 flat tires and 1 missing, it's set here. It's set here on the trailer for a week. I need the trailer. I need the trailer tomorrow. And so I had to come up with something pretty damn quick. So number one, the front brake drums are no good. The shoes are no good. I'm probably not gonna use anything of that front suspension at all. Maybe I will, I don't know, but not a big deal. I went ahead and pulled out the power drill and the cobalt bit, drilled a hole in the top of the brake drum in the middle, and filled both cavities, or either side, left or right, take your pick. Filled both of them full of automatic transmission fluid. Hopefully they will roll now, or at least they'll break loose and sort of kind of try to roll. If they don't, it doesn't matter, because I've got front tires on there now that hold air, and the contact patch is considerably smaller than 2 completely flat, blowed out, dry rotted ass tires. So it should slide a little bit better when it goes to come off the trailer. The back was another, okay. Before we get to that, in order to go ahead and put the tires on the front, my initial plan was to take the spare tires off of the Ranger chassis, which I went ahead and put adapters on. So it's 5 on 5.5, just like the old Willys stuff, which is also the Dodge stuff. And I had a couple of Dodge wheels with spare tires. And so I put those on the Ranger chassis just to help move it around. And well, now I've got this. Just take a couple tires off the Ranger chassis, put them on the front of the Willys, and we'll go from there. Now, as soon as I went ahead and got the old wheels off while it's still sitting on the trailer and everything's jacked up with a big ass farm jack, I come to find out that, the hole in the center of the Willys wheel is a little over 4 inches, and the hole in the middle of the Dodge wheel is around 3. And the reason for the bigger hole in the front is the locking hub assemblies on the Willys. Shit. So the Dodge wheels won't fit the front. Fine, I've got the 15-inch rusty 8 spokes, wagon wheels, whatever, that are on there. I need 15-inch tires. Shit. Oh yeah, I've still got 3 tires that came on the GMC that hold air. They're 15-inch. So I caught the tire shop first thing yesterday morning. Thank you, Chris Wells, for taking care of me again. And so Criswell service station in Purcell, they went ahead, they hooked me up, took the blowed out dry rotted tires that came off of came with the Willys wagon off of the 8 spokes, and took the Goodyear Wrangler P-Metric 235 75 R15s that were on the GMC. Took 2 of those that hold air and put them on the chrome wheels, and I put those back on the front of the Willys. So I took care of that part of it. So the parts department has 2 tires that hold air long enough to do stuff on the front. For the back, the driver's side, I knew I could go ahead and use the Dodge wheel because that big center opening is not required for the rear axle on this. I think it's a Dana 44 with the 2-piece axle shafts. I'm not 100% certain. I'm going to crawl underneath there and check out the markings here in a little bit. But I'm reasonably certain it's a Dana 44 with the offset to the passenger side on the diff. For the driver's side, with the missing everything, I went ahead and took, y'all gonna love this, I took a spare trailer spindle that I cut off of my flatbed at one point when the axle got boogered up. I took a spare spindle, and lo and behold, top and bottom, it would go ahead and bolt to the axle flange on the driver's side. I had a spare hub. I needed some bearings. Hit up Tractor Supply for a set of wheel bearings, bolted top and bottom with grade 8 hardware, bolted the stub axle onto the flange where the backing plate would be if there was one, and so I bolted the spindle on, went ahead and put the wheel bearings in the hub, or greased them up, put them in the hub, put the hub on, and took the large Chevrolet 5-on-5 spare tire for the trailer and put it on the back of the Willys on the driver's side, so it will roll. There's no brake or backing plate on the passenger side. There's just the drum. So at least I know the rear 2 wheels will turn and do without any drama. So even if the front ones don't break loose, I can still go ahead and lift it up with the tractor and drag it, and the back 2 will roll. So here we are. And like I said, with the chrome strips and the door handles and the various other bits I'm going to salvage off of this, I'm money ahead. I'm definitely money ahead. So it's not a big deal for what I gave for it. It was worth the drive to Chandler, Oklahoma to pick this one up. And so I'm going to take 2, make 1. We're in great shape. And one more thing I forgot to mention while I was playing musical tires and wheels yesterday. I had a reminder. Something I completely forgot, something that had slipped my mind. And, you know, every once in a while, old timers kicks our ass. Show you what I'm talking about. So when I was pulling these guys off the front yesterday, I ended up breaking off 2 studs. And, you know, I figured that, well, I didn't use any penetrating oil, and I had the big Milwaukee on there and was just hammering away. And when the 2 studs came off, it really didn't matter because, again, I'm probably not going to do anything with this front axle anyway other than use it for parts. So I wasn't too overly concerned. And then I remembered why they didn't want to come off. Can you see why they didn't want to come off? Can you see this right here? Look real close. L, loser. Left-handed threads, you special ed mother. Anyway, fortunately, I went ahead and did a little bit of digging around, and Dorman does still make left-handed lug nuts. And with the right cross-reference number, I was able to go down to O'Reilly's, and they had some in stock. So now I have, let's see, large Ford pattern with left-handed studs on the left front. I have large GM pattern right-handed studs on the right rear because it's that trailer hub. I've got large Ford pattern right-handed studs on the front and large Ford pattern with the smaller hub right-handed studs or right-handed threads on the right rear. Yep, it's a hodgepodge, but again, at least I can move it around the yard now. So anyway, that's the update. Like I said, it's been a while. I've been slacking. It's been hot. I've got a crap ton of excuses why I hadn't gone ahead and done any video. You know, life gets in the way sometimes, but you make the best of it. Y'all stay safe, be good to each other, and we'll see you on the next go around. I got sweat running out of my eyes. I'm not blinking because I'm tweaking. I'm blinking because I got sweat in my eyes and it's burning. So y'all stay safe, and we'll see you on the next go around. This is Shade Tree Joe. We'll see you next time. Like, share, subscribe. Feel free to comment. Tell me I'm a boob. I don't care. Yeah, it's all good fun. And again, I'm not monetized. Nobody pays for me to do this stuff. I just do it for my own entertainment, I guess. We'll see y'all.